Please be seated. And I'm seeing the man of the hour just stepping in. I now invite Mr. Anthony Grant, Principal of Hope Valley Experimental School, to bring welcome.
Master of Ceremonies, Honourable Fayval Williams, specially invited guests, ladies, gentlemen, teachers, and I know I have a student in the audience, representative from the different media houses. Good morning. Oh dear. Might I do it again? Good morning. I am a principal, you know, and I'm accustomed to speaking with over 700 children. So when I do this in the mornings, I'm hearing a resounding, good morning, sir. So I'm not accustomed to this funky one, though. But good morning, everybody. I concur with the scriptural reference, which highlights to everything there's a season. And we know it. I'm going to add this morning a time to give and a time to receive. We assemble here this morning to symbolize the official handing over of tablets for teachers in our school system. This is so timely in the context of schools preparing for the unusual, and I said unusual, school year that is fast approaching. Hope Valley Experimental School opens its doors for this function, and we are honored to have been selected to be so worthy. On behalf of the school board and the wider school family, I welcome you all, and in particular, our Member of Parliament and Science, Energy and Technology Minister, the Honourable Fayval Williams. I am not sure, but we are supposed to have representatives from the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Mr. Christopher Record, Chairman, E-Learning Jamaica Limited. Mr. Keith Smith, Chief Executive Officer, E-Learning Jamaica Company Limited. Mr. Daniel Dawes, Chief Executive Officer, Universal Service Fund. And we have Ms. Tanya Lynch, representing the Jamaica Teachers Association. Grieving though you are, but welcome still. And all the different media houses representatives, welcome. Let us feel at home as we participate fully in today's function. Welcome to Hope Valley Experimental School, the one of the kind in the English-speaking Caribbean, the one that practices inclusive education from its inception in 1972, the one that is still well sought of in this part of the world. Hope Valley Experimental School welcomes every one of you. Let us enjoy the function.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grant. There's a pause because the gentleman that is up next is just entering the building. And I now invite Mr. Daniel Dawes, the CEO of the Universal Service Fund, to bring greetings.
Just stepped in. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a privilege to be a part of this special occasion. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, the Honourable Fayval Williams, Chairperson of the Universal Service Fund Board, sorry, I see here, chairperson of the e-learning, Mr. Christopher Arcard, and my very good friend, Chief Executive Officer of the e-learning Jamaica, Mr. Keith Simmet, principal of the Hope Valley Experimental School, Mr. Grant, Anthony Grant, project manager of the Tablets for Teachers program, Ms. Davia Brian Campbell, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, again, pleasant good morning. May I say here, it gives the Universal Service Fund great pleasure to be here this morning to be a part of the rollout of the Tablets for Teachers project. The Universal Service Fund is an arm of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. And may I say here that we are responsible for financing this and other projects of the e-learning Jamaica aimed at putting information and communication technology devices in the hands of our fellow citizens. And certainly we have a vested interest in this endeavor and certainly its success. As Jamaica continues to grapple with the new normal brought on by COVID-19, the critical role of technology in ensuring continuity in how we socialize, conduct business, and learn has been brought into a very sharp focus. While the 1920 school year has come to an end, we are now left with the task of assessing our performance in relation to the homeschooling and distance education strategies that have been employed. The COVID experience has taught us that while much has been done in connecting far-flung communities, there is still a far way to go in ensuring universal access to the internet that is affordable and available. The provision of these devices is one way that the government of Jamaica is addressing the digital divide by ensuring our educators have access to the best technology and are fully equipped to prepare our young people to fully take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution. There is still a long way to go. However, this is a step in the right direction. The Universal Service Fund remains committed to providing support to Jamaica's educational sector at both the macro and micro levels. In addition to financing tablets for teachers and tablets for students, we cover the cost of providing internet access at primary and secondary schools across Jamaica. This is, of course, in addition to our network of community computer cafes across the country, numbering beyond 400. Most recently, the Universal Service Fund has introduced scholarships for our top performing PEP students, that is for each parish, as well as scholarships for students enrolled in the Program for Advancement Through Health and Education path. These are the practical ways in which the USF is seeking to empower Jamaica's young people by providing training, technological support, and educational opportunities. You would have heard about our Technology Advancement Program that we have been financing and supporting for the last 2 years, where unattached youth between the ages of 18 and 35 are being trained by heart in the area of computer administration and computer repair. Hope and CMU as it relates to digital competencies and question of employability. May I say here in my closing, I just want to congratulate Keith and the members of his staff for the strides that you have made in relation to the Tablet for Teachers program, and to wish for you and your staff every success. And we will respond to you in a favorable way if and when, and certainly when, we are called upon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dawes, CEO of the Universal Service Fund. I now invite Ms. Lynch, and she is the parish president for the Jamaica Teachers Association for St. Andrew. I now invite her to bring greetings. Ms. Lynch. Honourable Fayval Williams, Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Mr. Christopher Record, Chairman, E-Learning Jamaica, Company Limited, Mr. Keith Smith, CEO, E-Learning Jamaica, Mrs. Davia Brian Campbell, Project Manager, Tablets for Teachers Program, Mr. Daniel Dawes, CEO, Universal Service Fund, Mr. Anthony Grant, Principal, Hope Valley Experimental School. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor to bring you greetings from the Jamaica Teachers Association. This gesture is quite fitting in this new normal that the novel coronavirus has thrown on us. We laud the efforts of E-Learning Jamaica, the Universal Service Fund, and the Ministries of Education and Science, Energy and Technology. This step will bolster more efficiency and effectiveness in our classrooms now and in the future. Let me say, on behalf of the Jamaica Teachers Association, congratulations, and we wish that you will continue for more years to come. Thank you so much, Ms. Lynch. And ladies and gentlemen, I now invite or we'll now have rather, a cultural performance from Hope Valley Experimental School. And Annalise McIntosh will deliver that performance for us. Ladies and gentlemen, do we want an encore? Yeah. An encore, right? It deserves an encore. So we're going to invite Annalise one more time just to perform for us. So we'll take that presentation at the end of the ceremony, all right? And in my discussion with Mr. Grant yesterday, he did say that she got a silver in the JCDC competition some time ago. So congratulations to her on that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I invite the gentleman who has been steering e-learning Jamaica Company Limited to come and bring remarks to you. Mr. Keith Smith, CEO.
morning. Isn't, you know, as someone with visual challenges, I get the benefit of being escorted by beautiful ladies all day. Really appreciate it. Minister Fayval Williams, MP, and more importantly, my minister. E-learning is a part of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. So I can't welcome her to her school because she's MP, and I can't welcome her to her program because she is the sponsor, the policy maker, and the person who calls me and gives me hell if things aren't going well. So Minister, it's good to see you. I can't welcome you here because you belong here. Mr. Daniel Dawes, my friend and CEO of USF, and the person who I have to call monthly, daily begging money. And I was very happy to hear him say a while ago that he's prepared to send some more. So I want the check. Coming to see you tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Mr. Grant, principal of Hope Valley Experimental. Thank you very much, sir, for allowing us to be here and for your warm greetings. It was a pleasure. Mr. Tanya Lynch, JTA, thank you very much for representing the JTA here this morning, Parish President for St. Andrew. And the JTA has been a very effective and supportive partner of e-learning as we manage this program. Certainly good to have everybody here. And today is a special day for us at e-learning as it signifies the first official tablet handover launch event for the Tablet for Teachers program. The Tablet for Teachers program was a part of an agreement that was signed by the government in 2018 as part of the collective labor bargaining process with the Jamaica Teachers Association, where every teacher, public sector teacher, would receive a tablet for personal use and curriculum support. It is worth noting that Honourable Minister Fayval Williams was part of the team at the Ministry of Finance who negotiated this deal. And I was pretty sure at the time, Minister, you never knew that you would be the host ministry when it was being handed out. So you created the headache and you had to help me manage it. But I am very happy today because it's been a long process. Last year, March, when my board gave the approval, and let me first apologize for Chairman Record, who had some challenges with his own private avocation and couldn't make it this morning, but I'm sure he's watching online somewhere. And I'm sure he's proud. So a year ago, March, year and a half, Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education approached and asked if e-learning would become the implementing agency for this project. It was signed in 2018. It was running a little late. There were challenges. The JTA was very unhappy. And I remember when I got board approval and we had a meeting with the JTA middle of last year and at the Ministry of Education where we discussed the launch of the program, and Dr. Nice and Dr. Anderson were there. And they were very anti-assy, you could call it any way you want. They were concerned that the program hadn't started. And I gave them a commitment that says, e-learning will deliver this. Work with us. We promise you that next year we'll roll out this program. And I will tell you, we've had lots of challenges along the way. We had to do the procurement twice. First time because this agreement involved the provision of a tablet for US approximately $200. And there were some specifications that we inherited as part of the process. So when we went to market with the specifications, in a competitive RFP, the first results, we were about $70 short. The results were $260, $270. I said to the JH at the time, we'll go back and negotiate with the government. They said, no, Keith. The agreement was $200. We're not going to ask the government for a cent more. And I remember Dr. Nice's comments, Keith, I'd rather we redo the tender, but promise me you're going to get it done in Q1 next year. I said, Dr. Nice, it was a stretch. Remember Dr. Anderson, everybody knows Garth, very eloquent. You better do it, sir. Do it. Well, happily to say, fast forward, March 9th this year, and through no short effort of our Honourable Minister Fayval Williams, we got cabinet approval. At that time, it was the start of the COVID pandemic, because March 18th, Jamaica was thrown into a tailspin when, to protect our lives, and I'd like to commend my government, Prime Minister, Minister of Health, my ministers, members of the cabinet, for the manner in which this country has managed its COVID response. It has given me, as a diabetic and somebody that suffers from all sorts of old age diseases, a little bit more confidence. So COVID closed down the education system. At the same time when we signed the contract, And all of a sudden, what e-learning had to do with this project and others became into the limelight, forefront. And not only that, there was a need now to accelerate what we're doing. I'm happy to say that March 19th contracts, permission to award contracts, April 10th, all contracts signed, April 20th, all vendors posted bonds, in line with the government procurement policy, and by the end of May, tablets started to arrive. We are now beginning of July, and in the country, currently we have just under 18,000 of the 25,000 tablets that we need for this program, with the balance due to arrive around July 17th. We commenced a couple of weeks ago the formal rollout. We have already completed the parishes of Portland and St. Thomas. I think this week the team is mobilizing in Trelawney, in St. Mary, and in Westmoreland. And these are the first of these functions. We do one for the Honourable Prime Minister on Thursday. I think next week we're going to be in the constituency of the opposition leader, as well as the opposition spokesman on education, to Dr. Peter Phillips and Mr. Peter Bunting. And I think over the course of the next 3 or 4 weeks, we have somewhere between 8 to 9 of these functions. So e-learning is very proud to have been the implementing partner for this function. We are very proud that finally we brought this thing to fruition. We're going to continue to work hard. We don't expect an easy road throughout the distribution process, but you have my guarantee that whatever e-learning needs to do to ensure that this program is successful, we will continue to do it. We encourage the teachers to utilize the technology that we provide in the tablets. I visited with Yallas Primary, Yallas High. I was out at Buff Bay. I was in Port Antonio last week. And overwhelming comments that I've gotten from the teachers and the principals is that they're so happy. One teacher actually said to me, Mr. Smith, my 6-inch cell phone I burn up. The screen too small, I don't have enough memory, I can't run the program then, and Lord, the data slow. Well, then she now has a tablet, and these are high-quality Samsung tablets. This tablet is the Samsung's leading brand. Samsung is a tier 1 provider, which means not only do they sell globally, but we have support on island. We have repair shops on island. We can get parts. And e-learning has put in a service assurance process to ensure that if teachers have problems, we will help them to solve it. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy that our first large event is in your constituency, Minister. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the e-learning team for your continued support for our activities and your leadership in establishing the policy. And let me just thank the e-learning team for their efforts. I want you all to realize that the implementation phase of this project started at the same time as COVID pandemic, and this team kept working right throughout, morning, noon, and night. They've been out in the field, they've been talking with the ministry, the teachers, etc. And the reason why we're here is because of their dedication and hard work. So thank you, team. Thank you, Principal, for having us. And I trust that you're having a good ceremony so far, and we look forward to continuing to roll out these programs to implement the policies that are mandated to us by the government and the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. Thank you very much all.
Thank you so much, Keith. And I know we have in our presence Ms. Shelley-Ann Burrell, who is with us. Ms. Burrell, I'm now going to ask you to bring greetings on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
To our chairperson, good afternoon. To the Honourable Fayval Williams, Minister of Science, Energy and Technology. To Mr. Daniel Dawes, CEO, Universal Service Fund. Mr. Keith Smith, CEO, E-Learning Jamaica Company Limited. Mr. Anthony Grant, Principal, Hope Valley Experimental School. Stakeholders here, teachers, a pleasant morning to you all. It is a very proud moment for us in the Ministry of Education, and I find it especially proud to be here at this very auspicious occasion one that is uniquely timely in the context of the pandemic in which we are still grappling. On March 13th, we were forced into a situation that we never ever thought we would have been able to see the light. But together as a team, we have navigated through difficult times. And I want to pause to I want to use that terminology, big up our Jamaican educators who went, yes, pause and give them a hand. Our government and all the stakeholders who have shown that in a little country, we are little, but we are Talawa, and we have weathered the storm during this very difficult time. Technology provides so many opportunities for our education system to leapfrog the challenges that often face us. It is for this reason that we are extremely elated this morning to be a part of this wonderful initiative. The tremendous partnership across the ministries and agencies of government has today shown the reality that indeed we can do much more when we work together. More so, it is the blueprint for how we can surmount the difficult times, whether it be a pandemic or tragedy, whatever it is, we have found the ingredients that together we can make it happen. As our teachers today receive these instruments, we encourage you to accept them as the tools that will open new frontiers, challenge greater innovative thoughts, raise the bar on inclusivity in education, and promote creativity and entrepreneurship. You are the shapers of tomorrow. Go and boldly lead the revolution, which we are now set to do very well at doing. On behalf of our Minister, Permanent Secretary, and the team from the Ministry of Education, we look forward to entering these new frontiers with our unsung heroes. And as a team, we know that we can make the dream work. I thank you.
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I felt that one. I really felt that one. Thank you so much, Ms. Burrell. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite the Lady of the Hour, the Honourable Fayval Williams, Minister of Science, Energy, and Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, to bring the main address.
Good morning, everyone. So let me begin by acknowledging in absentia the chairman of the board of Hope Valley Experimental. And I'm sure Principal Grant is going to have something to answer to as to why his chairman was not here this morning. Let me acknowledge as well Principal Grant, who's been here at Hope Valley Experimental for several years now, piloting this institution. Let me also acknowledge Mr. Daniel Dawes, CEO, Universal Service Fund, Mr. Keith Smith, CEO of eLearning Jamaica Limited. Both of these entities are entities in the Ministry of Science, Energy, and Technology. Let me acknowledge as well Ms. Tanya Lynch from the Jamaica Teachers Association, Ms. Burrell from the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information, and of course, Annalise, who did the cultural performance for us this morning. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be here at Hope Valley Experimental. This is a school with which I am very familiar. I've been here for devotions, I've been here for other events, and so it's good to be here again. And I'm only sorry that the children are not here this morning, because it would have been a pretty sight to see them, especially when they're gathered out there for devotions in the mornings. So the distribution of tablets to the teachers of this institution is special to me, because this institution has been a pillar of hope in this community for many years, catering to the needs of both persons with disabilities and able-bodied students. The work we're doing here goes to the heart of creating a digitally inclusive society where no one gets left behind. So many times, persons with disabilities, especially our children, are marginalized or forgotten as we make plans or as we institute various programs. But as a ministry, we realize that the most vulnerable must be included in our plans as we advance the digital agenda. According to the World Bank, of the estimated 65 million primary and secondary age children with disabilities, at least half of them are out of school. Estimates suggest that more than 85% of disabled primary age students who are out of school have never attended school. On average, 1 in 3 children with disabilities of primary school age is out of school compared with 1 in 7 children without disabilities. Even though the data seems dismal, the World Bank notes that despite these challenges, children with disabilities are more likely to stay enrolled when provided with meaningful, quality, relevant education, as is provided here at Hope Valley Experimental. So technology, ladies and gentlemen, provides this kind of quality and relevant education and makes education more inclusive for all. This is directly in tandem with Sustainable Development Goal 4, which calls for inclusive and quality education for all. If we can provide the technology to our students with disabilities, we can reduce levels of illiteracy and improve the education and socioeconomic prospects of our students. And I know while today we're here for the Tablets to Teachers occasion, I know coming shortly is a tablets for students, and I'm sure Hope Valley Experimental will be included in that. So if you weren't, you are now, right? You know, speakers before me have talked about the COVID-19 impact on education, and all of us are living that today. In fact, our students with disabilities would have been severely disenfranchised during the process, not only by the lack of classes, but also the fact that they in particular need additional care and supervision, and because of the impact of COVID-19, that might not have been you know, all present. COVID-19 has taught us that we need to go digital. I don't think there's anybody in Jamaica who would not agree with that right at this moment. In this digital age, all our teachers and students must be able to access lessons and material remotely so that no one is disenfranchised or left behind. We know that governments across the globe are investing heavily in education technologies, both prior to and in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we here in Jamaica are also in that situation in which we're investing. We need to adequately provide the training that our teachers need as well to be able to use equipment, as well as ensure that in our schools they have the necessary infrastructure, and that when the children leave school and go home, it's also present in their home, on the street corners, and just about everywhere. So that is a goal that we have at the ministry, to make access to the internet a right, not a privilege. I know many students across Jamaica are having difficulties doing that because the service is not available to them where they live, or if it is available, it is out of their reach in terms of affordability. So our aim is to ensure that it's available and it's affordable to all, especially our students. In this digital age, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow pandemics to disrupt the business of education. The future of our children is too important to not put mechanisms in place to facilitate remote learning. And today I'm pleased that we're helping to bridge this gap by providing the tablets to teachers. We have a system in Jamaica that provides class education and training to our students. This means that our educators, institutions, and students must have the requisite tools to function in the digital age. The fourth industrial revolution dictates the incorporation of information and communication technologies in our classroom to prepare our students for the digital revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we have big gaps to fill, but as a government, we are committed to providing access to the internet and technological tools which will enhance learning at every level. So education is one business that we must take seriously as a country, and I believe we do. The impact of no or low levels of education, we all know by the studies that have been done, increases poverty levels, costs government millions in terms of GDP, and reduces employment prospects. As a ministry, we are committed to strengthening our technological capability and infrastructure so that all our students can have access to the internet and devices. Currently, with an internet penetration rate of approximately 45%, so many of our students in rural Jamaica or inner cities lack access to the internet and technological devices, which adversely affects their education, especially at the time when they have to log on to an online platform for school. Under the Tablets in School rollout, we'll be focusing on infant and primary schools, teachers' colleges, special education schools, and state care facilities. eLearning Jamaica will complete the distribution of 25,000 tablets under the Tablets for Teachers program, as well as the 40,000 tablets under the Tablets in Infant and Primary Schools program during this financial year. Give them a round of applause for that. At the USF, we will also be completing 3 additional public Wi-Fi hotspots during this fiscal year in Ocho Rios, Port Antonio, and Maypen, so that our citizens can connect while they transact business or as they pass through these major towns. Ladies and gentlemen, today we make the connections. Today we inch one step closer to imagining a new Jamaica. In this new Jamaica, it is my vision that all Jamaicans, all, without exception, will have access to the internet. And all schools will be equipped with technologies to not just facilitate learning, but to also foster innovation and a solid STEM education for students. Ladies and gentlemen, as we work to build a digital society, ICT, science, technology, and innovation will be crucial pillars in this regard. Our educators, therefore, are integral partners to this process. And as you receive these devices today, it is my hope that they will make your classrooms a richer environment which will cater to the needs of the 21st century learner. I thank you very much. And I should hold up the sample tablet, right, Mr. Smith? This is the sample, tablet that the teachers will be getting. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Grant, as well as our CEO, Mr. Smith, to join me on stage, please. We will have this ceremonial handing over on the tablet. Yes, Mr. Doss, please join us on stage. right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to invite once again Annalise. Thank you once again, Annalise. And I now invite Mr. Grant to join me on stage, along with Mr. Andrew Mayhew from Productive Business Solutions. He's the account manager at Productive Business Solutions. And I'd also want Keith to join me on stage for this one as well. Michelle, hold on. So Mr. Grant, I know you're looking at me and you're wondering why you're here, what's happening. Mr. Mayhew, did I get that correctly? Right, yes, McHugh. She's left. So Mr. Grant, Mr. McHugh from Productive Business Solutions has a donation to make to Hope Valley Experimental School.
I did say at the very beginning a time to give and a time to receive. Yeah. On behalf of Productive Business It's in moments like these, you know, that I wish I was an eloquent speaker, but it's times now when you find out that you are lost for words when you're overwhelmed with gratitude. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. This is going to make us that much better in terms of where we want to go in technologically. Thank you very much. Thank you very kindly, sir.
We're strong enough. I don't want to earn yours, you know.
And as we come to a close for today's handing over ceremony, I now invite Mrs. David Bryan Campbell to give the vote of thanks, project manager for the Tablets for Teachers program.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a tremendous occasion it is today. Wasn't it a success? It was. I am sure you'd want me to express our thanks to all the persons who have contributed to the success of this handing over ceremony. To our special guests who stepped out, the Honourable Minister Fayval Williams, who reminded us of the importance of catering to the vulnerable in society and that technology will definitely enable these persons to be inclusive in our educational system. The minister also reminded us of the importance of technology in preparing our students for the fourth industrial revolution. To all other stakeholders who brought greetings from their various organizations, to the school's principal, Mr. Antonio Grant, he has been very welcoming and very accommodating. To our resident dancer and singer, who entertained us so beautifully, to the e-learning team for their hard work and dedication in ensuring that we have a successful handing over ceremony. Our heartfelt thank you to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, for being an excellent audience, thank you. It is my pleasure to propose this vote of thanks. Thank you once more, and do have yourself a wonderful morning.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Campbell. And that brings us to the end of this morning's function. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us this morning. And just, a notice, just to remember, we have another function on Thursday at Balcom Drive Primary and Junior High, and we do expect that most of you will be in attendance, of course. Thank you once again, and please be safe. Oh, another thing, we also have refreshments. We have refreshments on the outside. So I implore you just to grab a bite to eat before you leave.